So I'm noticing. And when I'm being vulnerable, then there's no need for defenses. You see? I'm noticing. Also, somebody said to me to use feeling statements. So I'm noticing, I'm feeling the stress. And I'm realizing now, as we speak, this arising of, wow, I can do it my way, is also being met by some stress inside me, because all that I have ever known in this life, since I was a child, was some kind of containment. I must say, in my own life story, since I left the containment of school and family, I've had quite a challenging time. Communicating well, balancing well within the containment that the society asks of us, or has asked. I'm going to put it in the past because, guys, everything is changing. Has asked of us. That containment for me, it didn't work. All of the red tape, it still doesn't work. All of the red tape around, like, the formalities, the different, oh gosh, what really doesn't work for me, what I find difficult, is the stuff like, the only word that's coming to my mind is taxes.
Oh, yeah.
The taxes. So I suppose I can say those things that tax me. That tax me to, like, I must fill in this form before I can get this thing that is actually mine. You know, and it is a part of my ability to be free in the world. Like, for example, a passport. You know, I have to go and do all of these red tape, which is how the society has been set up to manage so many people. When I'm noticing the amount of stress that's moving in my body at the moment, and I feel like it's moving now because it can also.
But that's the conditioning of the system as well. You know, we always find comfort in that because now we don't have to think. It's taking the thinking away. I remember many people, I've heard the story even in my own heart. It's like there was the debate about having uniform in school and not. And most people would say they like the uniform because it takes away the decision to be made in the morning. And that's the decision that we are making now during this time where their system is changing. Because now we have to make the decision how do we want to make our own system.
Tos. Yeah. It brings me to what my Baba said to me when I was a Twaza. And Baba, it means father, and we use it for the term for the one who's training us, when giving us training. When we are studying to become Sangoma, which for those of you who don't know, it is, well, probably many of you do know because you're watching this, and maybe you do know. But if, in case you don't, this is the name in Southern Africa of the traditional healer, or shaman. That's what we call it, Sangoma. Siberia, it's a shaman. In the jungles, I believe it's maestro, isn't it? And it's kilandero. What is it? There are words other than shaman that mean the same thing. Anyway, so we are Sangoma. And we say Baba because you must have the strength of and the love of the father energy, the masculine, to train Twaza well, because it's quite a soldier training. And so my Baba said to me, and Twaza, it means student, by the way, in the study of. We can also say it means initiate, that then we always are Twaza, become adept. So my Baba always used to say to me, dress how you feel strong, Gogo. When you're a Twaza, if you're going to come to Makosini, you must dress like a Sangoma. But in the normal life, in daily life, whatever you're doing, dress how you feel strong, how your ancestors feel strong, you know. So that's kind of what we're entering into now, isn't it? There is that place with children, especially actually teenagers. There's that particular age group, and I think preens somewhat as well, but very much teens, where there's this very deep desire to fit in. That's part of the kind of primal makeup. It's part of our genetic makeup, and that's where uniforming can be helpful. On the other hand, enforcing. Here comes a conversation about boundaries, hey? Like, how do we create boundaries and maintain boundaries without enforcing, and what's okay and what's not okay when it comes to force? This is part of my contemplation currently too, especially with this restructuring of the relationship field here in the family home. How do we do boundaries? What is healthy force? What does it feel like? I guess
we would have to experience it as it, because we've never known. There's only been one kind of force in
coming
the world
aside
that we're
with
living.
unconditional love, I think so. Absolute devotion to that, to the point where we're willing to chop off heads, to use the kind of more Hindu mythology way of speaking, to chop off the heads of the egos that we are faced with. Unconditional love is such a deep practice. It is like it does not come easily. It's been so tuned out of us. We've been tuned out of that channel. Our DNA has been tuned out of that channel. So now we really have got the opportunity to practice this unconditional love, to contemplate it. And this is an invitation to really contemplate unconditional love and what it is. For freedom, from the place of equality, because the hierarchy has fallen.
Is falling.
No, it has fallen.
Yeah.
What is left over is habits. The hierarchy has fallen. Sure, we can build it again. Absolutely, we can build it again. If we don't get on top of our habits, we probably will. But the hierarchy has fallen. The geometries have changed. That time is finished. It's no longer necessary. We're together now. And the timing is divine. It's absolutely divine. Unless, of course, the planets decided, emergency action, we need to quickly do these alignments because actually these guys on Earth, they are not coping. The hierarchy is staying too long now. We got to. I think that this plan, this timing was seen a long, if we're going to talk about time, a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think that the hierarchy has been here for exactly as long as it needed to be. It has fallen now. By my own observations and the workings of my own voice and our voice as a team inside with the galactics and the universes and all of these things, the mytho-realities, the storyteller, it fell in September equinox last year, inside with the times of the full moon in reflection. That's when the geometries shifted. Now we are dealing with the habits, the debris. Yeah, let's not build it again here, guys. You know, I think that birds, when they fly in formation, I think that when birds fly in formation, they absolutely are flying as equals. And whichever one knows the best tack to take at any moment, or has got the most perfect energy for the moment, goes to the front. It's not about who's the boss. It's about who's got the resonant energy for front flying right now. They've got themselves pretty well organized, the birds. And for sure they're equal. None of them think that they're any greater than the others. So this can be confused with hierarchy because it looks like a pyramid. Pyramid is a very useful structure. It can also be misused. Let's use things differently. Let's do it differently. Let's unlearn. Time for unlearning.
And learning and remembering.
Remembering, yeah. Remembering. So we've been thinking about, or I have very much, this school that we're creating. It's something that's been in the dreaming, unfolding for many years now, in fact, and through more than one of us in some ways. I'm seeing a very big picture of it. And it's called itself Thou Art, coming through this voice here, for the reasons I've given you. And then there's a subtitle. And at the beginning it was School of Becoming. And then my friend said, no man, that's always ahead of you. So I said, okay, you're right. Then it became School of Remembering. And then I saw, my friend Ron Valmer-Kizideku, I haven't met in person. His school is called the School of Remembering, so I'm not sure if we should use that title. Although we can, because it is true. And then the other day it fell out of my life like a waterfall. My voice, like a waterfall. School of Embodiment. So maybe it's going to be like that. If anybody's got a thought on that, I'm interested to see your comments. I'm going to have to go onto Facebook for that. That's okay. Instagram. We're on Instagram now.
Yeah.
Okay. What else? We're popcorning quite a lot. That's okay, the heat is on. We're going to be popcorning now, guys. We're going to be popcorning.
I think we're going to wrap it up though soon, because otherwise this video is going to end.
Yeah, good. Good, then we've got other things to do.
But we went through some good things. The main message is the active coming home and what that means. And
opening voice. True voice. Opening true voice.
Opening the communication lines between yourself and your family, your loved ones.
Inside oneself. Inside relating. Whether we are relating, whether I am breathing in a flower, or the rising sun, or the face that's come to shout at me in the form of my angry teenage child, or in the face of my beloved who is embracing me and telling me that he loves me, or in my own face in the mirror. Coming home to know true self, opening the voice. Good vibes. What an adventure. Thank you, Gabriel.
Thank you.
Very much.
We'll see what more comes.
Higgledy piggledy popsicles.
As the days unfold.
Yeah.
Because now we don't even know what's happening.
No, we don't. We're walking one step at a time. What we're doing in our home here, in my home, it's called the Space of Grace, where I live. What we're doing here is we've started at 11 o'clock every morning, and there is some flexibility when it needs to be. We reschedule. We have family sharing circle, and that's really inner circle family. Gabriel hasn't joined us for that yet. And then we're going to be doing in the evening. This morning we did it, but it's better in the evening, I think, once we've all calmed down after the day. Doing planning, a planning circle for the next day. So walking one step at a time, and we've got a whole bunch of things that we know we want to do, tasks that are necessary. And so in the planning circle, we're choosing which ones to do tomorrow and putting them into the today one for tomorrow to wake up to. And that's the basics. Of course, through the planning comes the chores and the tasks and things like that. The sharing circle part feels really important. And then in my own being, and I know also in Gabriel, we're doing practices. In my practice I prefer to do in the morning. So finding a structure, co-creating one, and letting it be fairly fluid at the moment, because we really are in a whole new place, and there's a lot of discharge happening. There's a lot of toxins on the surface to be mopped up and washed away. So we're also helping one another in that, and it's quite important to do that as much as you can. So for all of us who are able to help others through the internet, through session work, I'm sure we are all available. So yeah, I'm also utilizing that facility for myself, and also giving and offering that facility.
I think that that one where we write down the tasks and get together as a family or whoever's in is important, especially those that rely on the system of school as majority of the day. That also causes a lot of stress, is the boredom in children and in yourself. So having a physical thing that says you've got X amount of tasks to do in a day really helps you, because there's no reason to be bored.
Yeah. In fact, my beloved Mkhulu, also known as Saitsu, he shared with me a little list this morning of the way he likes to do it, which is essentially the way that he likes to run ashram. And maybe I'll put it into the comments. I said to him, I'm going to see how that works with family, because family is a bit different to ashram, because there are children involved, and children are a different kettle of fish to adults who are generally who's in ashram. So yeah, let's workshop this thing. Also open to comments on that one. Will you help me remember to put it up there?
Yes.
It's on my phone. I can just copy and paste it from WhatsApp. Okay. And I'm giving thanks to all of the ones who are younger than me and just more technologically advanced than I am when it comes to these kinds of things, for opening up the communications again. Thank you for helping to open the communications again, Gabriel.
This is your start on the Equinox, because you always said the course starts on the Equinox.
Yes, we're starting today.
But now you're starting to start the course.
We're starting today. Not only me. We are starting.
Yes.
So I am La Hallah, Niniftiba, Ntabiseng, Nkonjani, Gogo Maria Magdalena. I am Kakakuchina. I'm a mother. I am a Baba, trainer of Sangoma. I'm an initiator and a vocal alchemist. And I'm glad to greet you today on this equinox. It brings me great joy. I'm greeting you with a namaste as well, greeting the Buddha inside you. I'm also Twaza for the Tantras. I'm inside with Twaza to the Tantras now. Student of the Tantras, yes. I'm Dakini in training, in awakening, in remembering, and in embodying. Yeah, so we greet you and we give thanks, and we popcorn our way into this new reality. We give thanks to the great Mama Gaia, who is holding us and who has volunteered to do this grand experiment of human, with these intelligences that are such wild cards, with this school, this way, this reality that allows freedom of choice, and is in itself such a wild card, and such with such magnificent potential to enter into creator vibes, to master, to embody, to really know what it is to be human. So we give thanks to the Mama Gaia and to the Father Sun. Hey, all of the great solar cross that is turning now, that the dark and the light are equal inside with the reflection that we experience here on this planet. Let us remember that this is how it is. We are equal. We are everything, all equal. We are equal. That's how it is. Let us remember. So this being the first day of
Equality.
No, it's not the first day of equality. So now, because you see, we're working also with the labyrinth. With the labyrinth, the first tier, we start, we walk, we set our intentions. It comes inside with the will that reaches to the highest will. So I'm deeply grateful to be speaking with you today and making this invitation for you to come walking with us in the trunk of the tree Thou Art, together with Ishkakao and the other teachers that are gathering, to get to know us, to explore with us, to take the journey with us, to grow with us and remember with us and embody with us on this day that is equal. And this is my personal deep inquiry at the moment. This equality thing, this divine union, divine inner union, the masculine and the feminine. Divine union. Within all that is for the highest good of all, for the children, for the future, to the flow of love that is unconditional and uncompromising, for freedom born from equality. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Om gati bara sam gari buriswa. Hum.
Amen.
Tobos and may the healing waters flow.
Have a wonderful weekend, everyone.
Yeah, boy. Have a good rest. Wild! Wild! We are in the wild times. We are wild. We are wild. Woo!
Now this is the important part.
Okay.
Just to save it. So here we go.
Now you've got to show me how.
Download. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, look. So you say in video.
Okay. Wait, I'm going to go like this.